3 Count Thursday is sponsored by Arena Eats. Log on to the website arenaeats.app, that's arenaeats.app, for the ultimate fan experience. At your favorite sports venue, Arena Eats mobile app, pre-order, express pickup, and in-seat delivery. How do you place your order? Let's move to what I think is the biggest story for Monday Night Raw and what should have closed the show on Monday Night Raw, and that is Mustafa Ali as we know right now, the leader of Retribution. It was a confrontation with Retribution coming to the ring when it's supposed to be the Hurt Business versus Ali and Ricochet and Apollo Crews. And then all of a sudden, the Retribution, the lights start flickering and all of that. And Ali was joining the Hurt Business only to turn his back and actually reveal himself as the leader of Retribution. And yes, Tim.
It was one-on-one Ali versus MVP.
Oh, that's right. But yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Throughout the night, it was the three of them and the Hurt Business. But yeah, you're right. It was going to be.
There was the open invitation.
Yes.
For somebody to join the Hurt Business. And I immediately thought, okay, Ali's joining the Hurt Business.
Yeah, which I would have been fine with.
The other way, like I had completely disassociated the hacker from Retribution.
Right.
But yeah, I'm fine. We'll talk about it.
Yeah. So that was the thing is if you rewind to this show a couple of weeks ago when Mace Windu and Jar Jar Binks and Slapdick and whatever the rest of the names were revealed, and the new masks and
Itchy and Scratchy
and Kmart Bane's mask got released and things like that. And it was just like, man, I was like, I want to defend this so bad. I've been trying to defend. I've been trying to even when you almost make it indefensible, I was able to find the light in it until the names and the goofy masks. And then of course last week that, they may or may not have had COVID or whatever the situation there was. But then this week, and my whole thing was like, I hope they have a leader, and when they have a leader, I hope that it's somebody that that moves the needle. I think Ali does that. I think some people, and it's obviously different than if it was a CM Punk, than if it was a Randy Orton, than if it was a John Cena or something like that. But this is in a different way because, Mustafa Ali's been a guy that people have wanted to push and have pushed for a long time. He was getting some form of a push last year. Last year before Mania 35, and then he got hurt, and then Kofi got that spot. And then, they start doing the hacker thing, and we think it's going to be Mustafa Ali. It was pretty much guaranteed because of the ring and all of that. And then that kind of goes away, and then he starts wrestling on main event, and and now looking back on it, it's like, all of these things kind of tied together, and it seems to be it was actually really well done. Now, whether or not that was by action or by accident, that's another thing, and we'll wait 5 years till Bruce can tell that on a podcast. But man, I think that this is actually a really good thing. The only thing I didn't like about the way this was done is, like I said, that it wasn't the close of Monday Night Raw. And I get it. You want to have your WWE champion at the end of the show. I get it. We're also not leading into a pay-per-view, so it can be a little bit more forgivable if you don't have the champion as the closing segment this week. I think not that this wasn't impactful, but I think it's more impactful if this is the imagery that closes out the show. Who wants to go next? Who wants to give some thoughts on it? Tim, go ahead.
I do feel like its placement kind of hurt it, but I don't think it needed a main event. I think it could have like main evented at the top of an hour. This would have been really cool to do like the 9 o'clock hour and then revisit it at the 10 o'clock hour. Also gives you the chance to like maybe even if you switch the matches and make Ali versus MVP first and then go to the tag match.
Okay.
It kind of gives the ultimatum of joining the Hurt Business a little more. Like, now that Retribution's got Ali, does now Cruz and Ricochet want in the Hurt Business to take Retribution? Like, there's other questions that can be answered or asked in a different order. I don't think you can vote against Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton in your main event segment, even if the Street Profits and Dolph Ziggler and Bob Roode are also included
right
in that. Like Bob. But yeah, I'm here for it either way. Like,
yeah, I said it on Tuesday with Ryan. I bit the hook. I'm on the line.
I was kind of hoping for an unmasking.
Like the other members unmasking.
I think we'll get there.
I think that like they're masked until Ali is here, and then Ali is like, get them off, and like these are code names for people until he solidified, and then like especially now that he's like the tweet that he just put out where he basically on Front Street said the people are the dude that got F5'd, the dude who got beat up by Karrion Kross, the dude who was in that tag team with that other guy who got fired, and Keith Lee's girlfriend.
Right. They're not keeping a secret as to who these people are.
Not really. Not anymore.
Yeah. So hopefully, that their human names will be returned to them at some point in time. But yeah, I think we'll get there. I agree with you, Ryan, on that one. I think we get there. Ryan, your thoughts on?
I'm in Big Jim's camp. A 6-man tag match doesn't need to main event, even if it does have your big players in it. I think it builds your main faction a little bit more with Ali going off the air with his hand up, closes the fist, and that's what you cut off to. And that's your send off to next week. I think that's builds the Retribution brand a little bit more. McIntyre and Orton doesn't need to. They belong at the main event. I'll never not say that, but it doesn't have to. It's not going to hurt them being the bumper match to a new faction. But I do like what we're seeing with Retribution. It's a lot like what happened with Dark Order, I feel, with AEW. It was heavily shat on, and people were like, this is going to be really, really stupid. And then, much like wrestling fans not wanting to let things play out, you let it play out a little bit, and you're like, okay, I see what they're doing. All right, the names are silly. AEW just numbers them, whatever. That's kind of silly. T-Bar, T-Rex, whatever the fuck. It's dumb. I'm not going to deny that. But like you said, Jim, I think, and Tim, we're going to eventually get rid of the names. We're going to get rid of the masks, and we're going to have just a faction of guys that have been held under by the man. So that will differentiate them from a Dark Order feel. I think the masks keep it feeling a bit Dark Order-ish. But again, in all due time, I'm enjoying both of them much more than I thought I would enjoy, especially the AEW and the Dark Order, because I just didn't get it at first. But I think they're hitting home runs lately. And Brody Lee is a big, big part of that.
Yeah, well, I mean, home runs until last night, but we'll talk about that in a second.
Well, you lay down a bunt every once in a while.
We'll talk about that. But yeah, I hope too that their stories are told. Like, why is Mace angry? Why is Slapdick angry? Why is I forget. I don't even remember their other names. Why is, besides being, yucked around. I mean, like we said from the beginning, Dio Madden has every reason to be angry. The guy, ended up on commentary, got yucked around by Brock Lesnar. We haven't heard from him since. So that guy has, without a doubt, has a reason to be angry at the system. But I hope that all of their stories do get to be told at some point. Intern Mark, your thoughts on Mustafa Ali as the leader of Retribution?
Well, I'll tell you what, I was a little bit surprised because I'll be honest with you, I kind of gave up on Retribution. I just kind of dismissed him as something I didn't care about. But having Ali in there, it got my attention again. So it is pulling me back in. It was a nice surprise. And I like Smokey's comparison to the Dark Order with Retribution. That's true. When the Dark Order first appeared, I didn't really care for him. And but boy, I really am into him now. And I have been the last few weeks or so. So hopefully the same thing holds true with Retribution. So we'll find out here. We'll just have to give it some time. Maybe I jumped the gun and dismissed him too quickly. But I was pleasantly surprised with him this week. So hopefully they keep that going.
Three Count Thursday is sponsored by Arena Eats. Log on to the website arenaeats.app. That's arenaeats.app for the ultimate fan experience. At your favorite sports venue, Arena Eats mobile app, pre-order, express pickup, and in-seat delivery. How do you place your order? Yeah, if you're following along with us, Devin says he loves it. If you're following along, let us know your thoughts throughout the discussions during the night here as we go along. But and give the video a like and a share. We'd appreciate that.
One thing about Retribution that I really am liking, and Jim, like you brought up their stories, is that all of their stories are going to be very, very different. Dio Madden's story is what it was. You have T-Bar and his story, like what he was in comparison with Keith Lee. You have Shane Thorne, a tag team wrestler whose tag team partner got fired and let go, and he was just kind of there to wander on his own. Mercedes Martinez doesn't even have to be angry at the WWE machine, but be angry at the wrestling machine that it took so long for her to even get signed.
Right.
What was she missing? What kept her out of it? So everybody's story is going to be so different that if told properly, it's going to be an absolute home run. And you're going to build some sympathy for these guys.
Like what?
And then whenever they do that big dastardly act or whatever, it's gonna be really, really good. And the WWE has the capability to do this. We've seen it with like the Reigns and the Usos, so they can build really compelling storylines if they just let their true selves kind of come through. And I think we can do that with Retribution. And it's Retaliation and Reckoning are the other two names.
Those, yeah.
Of course, it's right on the tip of your tongue.
Besides the awkward car ride from the Philadelphia airport, what's Mia Yim's gripe with the wrestling business?
Very upset at two overweight guys from Lancaster that picked her up at the Philadelphia airport and didn't say a goddamn word to her from Philadelphia to Lancaster, Pennsylvania, because we thought she was asleep.
It's right down the road, though.
It is. It's right there past Lancaster.
It's right past Lancaster, right past Route 30. It's like Lancaster, and then you are in Westchester, and then Philadelphia airport's right there.
I'm just saying that those two fat guys didn't make her forget her headphones. That's all I'm going to say.
No, she forgot them on her own.
She did that to herself.
Our apologies. Miss Reckoning. That's on us.
My bad.
Do you still have those headphones?
What was that?
Do you still have the headphones? Did she leave them in the vehicle?
She forgot them at her house.
Yeah, she forgot to bring them on the flight.
Oh.
And so because I think she even like tweet about the fact it was like worst day to forget headphones. we discovered
along that line.
We discovered after the fact.
Might as well, I guess, tell the story the whole way. Like, we were tasked with going to pick up Mia Yim at the airport to bring her to a show. Jim, I know you drove, you cleaned your car.
Cleaned the car.
You vacuumed and everything. Like, it looked really nice.
You're like an Uber.
Probably best it ever looked, to be honest.
We picked her up at the gate, took her to the car. I carried her bag. I was like real appropriate, real nice about it. And then she like just kind of crashed in the back seat. We thought she fell asleep.
Well, she had asked because she had like, you know, food. She said, "Can I eat?"
Oh, she did.
She said, "Can I eat in the car?" I said, "Yeah, that's fine." And she ate, and like she like put her head back like she was going to sleep. I figured, you know, people travel. You know, she was probably up early in the morning because you know, the flight came in like noonish or late morning. So I'm like, she's up really early. Figured she's going to sleep. Okay, continue, Ryan.
So then we don't play any music on the way back because we didn't want her to wake up if she was tired because she had to go perform. And I think she was leaving that night to take another booking the next day.
Yeah, she was going back to Florida.
We didn't play any music. We didn't say a goddamn word, and it was absolutely deathly quiet from Philadelphia to Lancaster, which is a whole lot further than I ever gave it credit to being. That was my bad.
I think that's where y'all messed up. I think y'all messed up at the point of not having music on.
Yeah, in hindsight, music should have happened.
There should have been the radio.
There should have been
something.
even just to have it on low, just that there's not dead silence.
I remember her.
One of y'all should have had one of y'all should have had the balls and been like, "Can we play? Do you mind if we play some music?"
Yeah. See, the funny thing is, like,
not another teen movie.
The funny thing is, like, you know, I sit here and talk on a podcast every week for multiple hours. I get around people I don't know, and I just become like I really do. I kind of like clam up and become very like socially awkward.
I'll be honest. I thought the etiquette was like, just don't interrupt them. They are greater than you in this moment. They are like the person that we're picking up. We're just chauffeuring, and kind of like if you've ever taken a taxi ride, I don't want my goddamn taxi driver or Uber driver talking to me. Like, I just don't want that I will talk to them if they want, and then I would expect them to reciprocate, but I don't want them to strike up a conversation with me. It's just my personal, and then it put us in it was an awful situation. Mia Yim, Jade, Reckoning, whatever you go by. I apologize for the awkward.
Yeah, it was.
She came too. I feel like she sat up in like Lancaster, and I'm like, "You ever been to Lancaster before?"
Right.
Yep.
It was down. It was just past. It was just past the 4130 split, and traffic. You know, because traffic down there on a Saturday afternoon, it just is the goddamn worst. So we came to like a complete stop. We're crawling, inching on, and yeah, Ryan. I think had the only question that was uttered in this, hour and a half car ride was, have you ever been to Lancaster before? And that was it.
I think she said, "Yep, I've traveled through," and my response was, "Well, nothing's changed."
Yes.
And that was it. That was all that was said.
I think she opened the door to
how her flight was.
I think that was small talk from the airport to the car.
To the car, yeah. From the terminal to the car. Yeah, so that,
we were talking to the ring announcer. His name's Joel from the Lancaster area, who knows her very well. And he's like, "Oh, Stephanie's so sweet, yada, yada, yada." Like, he knows her on like her real first name basis. And I'm like, you couldn't have told us any of this shit before we got into this hour and a half clusterfuck of nothingness.
Wow.
Yeah, it's probably the most embarrassing thing that I've done
without question.
Into wrestling.
Without question. It was
sorry about that.
Absolute.
I hope she forgives you.
I hope so.
She does.
Yeah, I hope so. And yeah, it was bad. It was so bad, so awkward.
I blame Bro Brown.
Yeah, and that's easy to do. Blaming Bill Brown sounds about right.
He probably doesn't even remember it.
But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to Raw next week, and potentially, I mean, looking ahead to the draft, Retribution, as I'll explain in the rules when we do our little mock draft later, they are a full entity that can be drafted to either Raw or SmackDown. They could also be broken up, but the likelihood of that happening, I would say, is slim to none. But they are the full entity that can. Yes, Ryan.
Why would anybody draft them?
Well, because they're WWE superstars.
Excellent question, Ryan. Why would anyone want an actual cancer on their show? Like
this
they
is the
want
way to
to
get rid of them,
destroy
right?
it.
Just don't draft them.
Then they can go wherever they want.
Heath Slater them, and they just won't have a job.
Well, no, we'll get to the rules of the draft later, but
this is the most convoluted goddamn draft I've ever heard of.
No, it's every year is convoluted, but in theory, it's pretty much the same rules as every year.
You have to check out the pre-show. Patreon.com/3CountThursday. Jim tried to explain this horse shit to me. None of it makes sense. I'm frustrated about it already. I feel my blood pressure raising. Not going to be a good night.
That was the French fries from earlier, Ryan.
Is that what it was?
Yes. All right, so
You went to the diner.
I didn't. You guys put vinegar on your fries? Yes, no, maybe?
sometimes.
Never.
I will at times. It depends on the fry. It depends where I'm eating it. It depends what I'm eating the fries with.
I think that's absolutely disgusting.
Like next week, one of the dinners.
Dinner on fries is big at fairs.
Yeah, like one of the dinners on the menu for next week is I have battered fish fillets that I'm going to cook in the oven, and then I will, no doubt, put malt vinegar on my fries and probably on the fish as well.
Fish and chip style. Absolutely.
Fish and chip style.
I would
absolutely.
rather put malt liquor on fries than malt vinegar.
Yeah, I can't.
Billy D. Williams, Mad Dog style. Just give me the.
That makes me think of the camo triple malt that I used to drink in college. Just not good. Not good at all.
Not good at all.
Like
Mark, I think you have a fly on your head. You got to just shoot that. There you go. Thank you.
That's pretty good.
Don't be rude.
All right, we William does not. William is with you, Tim. Does not like the malt vinegar
So good.
at all. Now, obviously, because we're going to talk about food, Jersey Mike's. Okay, has anybody been to Jersey Mike's? Do you enjoy the oil and vinegar on, like the red wine vinegar on a sub?
Never.
Absolutely.
Oh man,
Vinegar goes
Every
on.
chance.
Vinegar only goes on pulled barbecue, and very little.
I mean, I'll put it on barbecue as well.
What about on a salad?
Like a balsamic.
Now, Tim, you're not like born Lancaster County, correct?
No.
He's
So
a
you would not
southern
do,
guy.
Like, you would not do like ham and potatoes and string bean with white vinegar.
No.
I don't like ham and green beans and potatoes.
Oh, really?
Oh, it's so gross. No, I can't.
Wow.
It's so gross. That is one Lancaster County meal that I have never liked.
Wow. Unreal. I can't. It's shocking.
Ew, it's so gross. It almost
You don't
gives
like
me
ham?
chills thinking about
Just
eating it.
ham in general.
I enjoy ham,
I love ham.
and I enjoy green beans, and I enjoy potatoes in most forms. But you put all that shit in that weird stew.
Yeah.
Ew.
Just dump some vinegar on it.
No.
That's good eating.
No. No, I don't like that.
They had
I don't like that. William likes Jersey Mike's though. Well,
They
yeah.
had really good ham loaf over there at the diner.
That is a good ham loaf.
You eat the ham loaf.
Tim, are you a ham loaf? Have you ever had ham loaf, Tim?
I've never had ham loaf.
You should probably try it.
Sounds disgusting.
Do you like meatloaf?
Yes.
Okay.
So why
Nope, not
change
the
it?
same.
Thank
you, Tim.
Right.
Why change meatloaf? Meatloaf is delicious.
Right, and so is ham
I don't need you
loaf.
to replace the ground beef with ham.
Dude, it's so good.
Nah, fam.
It's
I'll just take
delicious.
ham.
Ryan,
Now, Tim, again, not being a
So
Pennsylvania guy, I would much rather have a ketchup on my meatloaf
Yeah,
rather
my
than a
meat-
gravy on my meatloaf.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever had
okay,
gravy
okay.
on meatloaf. Who puts gravy on meatloaf?
Anywhere other than this area.
I
Like,
was
go to a
saying,
diner
so-
and order it. They will give it with gravy.
Ew.
Has Big Booty Judy put gravy on your meatloaf before?
She's
Salsa.
giving out her full government name out here.
Come on now.
We do initials, dog.
BBJ, come on
Sorry,
now.
that-
Can't be doing
Trying
that.
to get you trying to get
BBJ.
You're trying to get us spoken for folks in trouble.
Nikki's got to go. Business calls. Nikki, she's got to go back to work.
Bye,
Enjoy
Nikki.
it.
Goodbye,
Thanks for
Nikki.
joining.
Nikki.
Thanks for
Just take
joining
an
us
extra
again this
15
week.
minutes. It's on us.
Yeah, tell the boss I'm watching 3 Count Thursday. I'm sure that'll work well. Three Count Thursday is sponsored by Arena Eats. Log on to the website arenaeats.app, that's arenaeats.app, for the ultimate fan experience. At your favorite sports venue, Arena Eats mobile app, pre-order, express pickup, and in-seat delivery. How do you place your order?